brought to you by IWCRadio.com. It's the internet's most irreverent wrestling podcast. Now, please welcome Beans, Smoot, Chucks, and Will. This is the IWC.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio Podcast here on YouTube and on any other place that you can listen to us, iTunes and wherever, you know. We're here to discuss the Royal Rumble, the greatest Royal Rumble, in fact, from Saudi Arabia that aired as of yesterday. And here to discuss that with me, we've got Chucks, Beans, and Will. How are you guys doing? How's it going, I almost said at the start.
Hello.
Was it 3 weeks in a row now with the...
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd keep
something
it
else
going.
you should keep going. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay. No. Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
That's 3.
damn it. No. I haven't got
Man,
any
there's always
cans. I literally just made a cup of tea. If there's anything any
That's
more
not the same.
British,
Just go with your cup of tea.
I feel I'm feeling. Well, no, I just finished it. I'm literally holding up an empty cup to the microphone for some reason, like you can see it. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I've let the
No, it's
side
alright.
down.
I mean, that seems to be the latest trend, is that somebody's the odd man out for the audio whoop-ass.
yeah, I
Steve
did it
Austin
last
would
week.
say.
I'm going to say it does seem to change every week
Yeah.
as well. It's like the person that, like next week, I will like make sure that I have something. I think that's what it is. The person who doesn't do it that week will make sure, and then it's someone else that just doesn't have it.
So how are you guys doing? Before we get right into it.
Yeah, good.
I'm good, but I'm extremely tired. It's been a hard week.
Are you knackered? Yeah.
Knackered.
I kind of
Yeah.
was yesterday. In fact, yesterday was the last season, or not last season, the last day for the current season in Overwatch. And I was trying to get into gold, which I did, but it took me like 3 or 4 hours to do, and this was like around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And here, since I'm in the mountain time, the greatest Royal Rumble would have started at around 10 a.m. and I didn't go to bed till like around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So I woke up,
Wow.
got everything ready, and I was running on 2 hours of sleep watching what essentially was a house show on televised WWE programming.
It was a big show. Yeah,
It
big
was a
house show.
house show. Yeah.
Big house. Big house.
Probably the most expensive house show they've
Yeah.
ever done.
Oh yeah.
And that's it.
Like WrestleMania sat on the side going, "Thanks for taking all the pyro,
It
guys."
started at noon and didn't get done till like I want to say around 4 o'clock Eastern.
The event was 5 hours long.
5 hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Dead on
'cause, like
5
after.
as well.
and that's not including
Yeah,
pre-show.
no, I
No,
didn't,
so it was
I
6
didn't
of the
fuck
pre-show.
bother with the goddamn pre-show. I was like, no.
Just worry next year when they're going to do another event called the Greatest WrestleMania, and it really will be 15 hours long.
You're gonna need more than one intermission for a prayer break for it, though. Let me tell you.
Did they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did loads of video bits and went to Byron, did that panel bit in the middle, I think, while they were
Oh,
doing
that's
it.
what that was. Okay, that didn't
Yeah.
last too long. I thought it was going to go on much longer than
I
that.
think it was 15 minutes in total.
Yeah.
But I think we should point out that if anyone from Saudi Arabia is listening, this show does not feature any female.
Oh my
Jeez. I mean, there's so much wrong with what you've just
Oh
said.
my god.
Well, but it's not inaccurate.
I'm not.
The statement itself is not one of the things wrong with what you said.
I'm just going with
5 minutes in, we're already getting into the controversial stuff. That's great.
But we do have a guest from Iran.
From the Davari.
Yeah, and we're all going to beat him up.
I like that during that there was like one kid in the back just dabbing in like a Cena shirt.
Most of the fans that you could actually see really didn't care about anything, but there were two guys at the top of the screen who would dance for like various entrances. Like really getting to do the millions of dollars dance for various people.
Like the crowd kind of proverbially blew their load at Triple H and Cena, and then everything else after that was just it didn't even come close to a crowd response compared to that match. I feel.
Yeah, probably right.
It was a good match.
I mean, for something that had like essentially zero build, no titles, trying to get women to be a thing in Saudi Arabia, essentially, I guess. It was pretty good. Everybody kicks out of the AA nowadays. I guess the same could be said about the pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Same could be said about pretty much every bloody finisher these days.
That is true.
Oh,
Should we just get right into it, I guess? Should this... All right.
Yeah, let's do that. We're basically getting into it anyway. So the first one, after all the pre-show stuff, was Cena and Triple H. As you say, Cena wins. I thought this one was kind of... God, it went 16 minutes. I didn't realize. I thought this was fairly standard. There wasn't... It felt like a big match with none of the big match build, with none of the big match spots. There was nothing to it.
Yeah, we joked about it being a house show, but this was your typical house show, man.
This was like a match that they could do on autopilot 5 days a week. And they probably did at various times throughout their careers.
I did like the test of strength thing. That was obviously like a bit of a nod to Bruno.
That was old school.
Cole made sure he mentioned it, didn't he, from Triple H's standpoint?
And the chat says, did you see that WWE had to apologize for showing women on the Titantron? We were just discussing that before the show started. Yeah, that was... they actually did.
They actually apologized for showing women on screen.
I think there was a screen cap of it, or I think somebody got footage of it. But yeah, WWE had to apologize essentially because of that. It's the...
Have they apologized?
That's incredible. Yeah, how do you phrase an apology like that? We're so sorry that a woman appeared on our TV show.
The apology I saw came from the Saudi.
I think that's where it came from. I think that's what Ed's referring to. I don't think WWE said anything in regards to it.
It's the wording's quite
vague. Yeah.
Interesting. The General Sport Authority would like to apologise to the viewers and attendees of last night's WWE event that took place in Jeddah over the indecent scene involving women that appeared as an ad before a segment. It would like to confirm its total disapproval of this in the shadow of its commitment to eliminate anything that goes against the community's values. The authority has made sure to ban showing of any segment that involves women wrestling or any scenes related to it, and stipulated to the company, WWE. The authority also disapproved of any promotional stuff with pictures or videos showing women in an indecent way, and emphasised on commitment of this rule.
Yeah. That's fierce.
Yeah.
That was a very long apology for something that they pretty much already said in the first sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indecent, that's a bit strong.
Well, I think that's the word that it makes it sound like, oh, there must have been something bad then. It must have been Trish doing her barking with Vince, or something that's actually indecent, a lingerie pillow fight or something. Not that women had the indecency to appear on Raw at that time.
No, but if it was the video of them singing the pay-per-view thing for the joint thing, you got like Carmella in a like swimsuit and Alexa Bliss wearing a wrestling outfit and stuff, and they don't
Carmella.
There's something isn't there in the
onesie.
culture about not. There's something about not being able to show skin, isn't there, and things like that. So I think that's where they're going with.
I mean, I'm
Also,
banner for
that
the
promo
singing,
thing
to be
is
honest.
quite indecent. Yeah, there you go.
It's also saying, how did WWE not realize that the video would be on the Titantron and show anything else? Yeah. I think you could just chalk that up to the producers, I feel.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake. I think they were probably supposed to show something else.
Then
in the
again, I
arena.
mean, with the production working, like, you know, around the clock on the year, I think it's just out of habit that they would show something like that and not even make the connection of, oh wait, these people hate women. So,
I don't know. You think on that night you're in that place, you kind of have that. In
I mean,
mind.
it was called the Greatest Royal Rumble, not like Saudi Arabia's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but you've flown out to Saudi Arabia. That's not a short flight. And you've been there all week doing media and stuff. You've got an arena full of people who you're catering to specifically.
I think as well.
I should maybe you're right and it slipped someone's mind, but I really hope they're not that stupid.
And it's just said in a way. Did they not notice that there were no women around?
Well,
Anyway.
that's one way of putting what Ed just put in the chat, but yeah. But if you think about it, like WWE was on tour with South Africa before Raw and SmackDown this week, so they went from South Africa back to the US for Raw and SmackDown, flew straight out to Saudi Arabia, they're back in the US for this week for Raw, SmackDown, and Backlash, and then they're back out to Europe. I'm not being funny, but when you look at what happened on this show in general, there was a hell of a lot of botches and people who were jet lagged.
Yeah.
There was mistakes being made on all fronts here. So if a producer by half being asleep pushed a button,
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, fair point. Where were we? So Cena wins. That's a point for me and Will. Smoot Beans, you're thinking Triple H maybe as the more regular character could get the win, but apparently not.
Well, starting off the new season off to a great start here for me.
Yeah. Start doesn't mean to go on. It's fine. And then Cena did a little promo afterwards, being very grateful that he could perform in the beautiful city. It's not just Jeddah. It's the beautiful city of Jeddah. And it's not just Saudi Arabia. It's the kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Also, Cena kind of just low-key buried Nikki there in that promo. I think.
Yeah, he said whatever's going on in my personal universe. Is that how you say that? Is that you go halfway around the world and you can't escape the WWE verbiage?
I'd say, and I thought it was called the Heavenly City. I mean, I guess that works too. That's another moniker for it. Yeah.
Probably is. But for a couple of weeks now, they've been calling it the beautiful city of Jeddah. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Although the other one, the Greatest Royal Rumble, the event was called the Greatest Royal Rumble. But towards the end of the Greatest Royal Rumble match on the Greatest Royal Rumble WWE Network special event, they started calling it the largest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, called it.
Almost like,
the world's largest rumble.
Which it is.
Yeah,
it was. But that's not what it's called. I'm surprised he wasn't shouted out for that one.
also, as well, in the Cena and Triple H match, did anyone else think that Cena looked very slow in comparison to Triple H?
Jet lag.
I've thought that about him for a little while now. He doesn't look like the same.
I mean, he's still
Cena.
in shape, but I don't know. Maybe
He doesn't. I mean, he's never been the most graceful guy, but he's been a bit off the pace for a little while.
There were a couple of spots where Triple H was louder on the spot calling than Cena was in that match. It's asking, you guys have any problem with WWE declaring Daniel Bryan breaking the record for longest time in a Royal Rumble since this was adjusted for 50 men over 30? Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that. We will get to that. There's a few things. Next up, so Cena wins, and then Cedric Alexander beats Kalisto. We didn't even know who the challenger would be this time last week. Apparently it's Kalisto.
That lumbar check at the end was brutal. looked like he got Callisto on his side, I believe. With it.
Yeah, it was countered from the Salida
Yeah.
del Sol. Just dropped him straight onto the knees. It was a good finish. Nothing else to say about the Cruiserweight match, I guess. This one felt like filler to me.
It kind of was.
Yeah.
I thought it was solid.
Good-
I don't
good
think
match.
There was anything
Yeah.
wrong with it. Yeah.
No, not all. It's just you had the big stars out first, and then this was the kind of, coming down off of that. Then. But yeah, good match. I thought. Actually, one of the better matches. on the show.
A still of the finish to it, where Callisto kind of looks like he lands awkwardly on Alexander's knees with it there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Mm.
Ed also saying the Spanish Fly from Callisto looked great. It did, but only on the replay. I thought it looked like a total mess when he first did it. Because he did the kind of split-legged moonsault deal. He dropped down and then they kind of flipped over. I thought something went wrong, and then they showed it a second time round from a different angle. It looked incredible.
All right.
Okay. Fine
Yeah,
then.
sure.
Oh, you're right.
I'd
Points all
give it a
round for
B
that one.
plus.
Oh, B plus at best. Solid. Solid B plus. That's the one.
Yeah.
Points for everyone. Cedric Alexander, I guess that was an easy one to call. As was Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, bringing the Raw Tag Team titles back to Raw. Not Cesaro and Sheamus, so they're stuck on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Getting
I mean,
points
pretty
for
much
everyone.
when you get beat by a 10-year-old at a WrestleMania, I think it's best to switch brands at that point. I feel. Yeah.
You need a fresh start.
How about the entrances there at the beginning, where apparently Callisto and Alexander were woken? Here, I'll do this up on the stream. There you go. Yeah, how about that? As we wait for everybody to catch up to speed. I forgot to, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. Production team not on their game.
Quite obviously. Quite obviously of that. Jet lag, yeah, there you go. Just a blanket excuse. Yeah, it was pretty good. It would have been great to have some more like mind games that we've seen with Wyatt versus Hardy in this match against the Bar. But other than that, yeah, I think it was pretty much expected that they would bring home the tag titles to Raw. So those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, kind of had to happen.
You know, when Matt Hardy makes his entrance, he kind of has a limp, and I can't tell if it's a genuine limp or is it part of his character. He walks out very strange when he walks out.
Yeah.
Who'd you say? Wyatt?
No, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think it might be part of the character, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like just mounting injuries over the years.
He does also have Jimmy legs, famously. You never read the
I've never heard of
Hardy's
Jimmy legs as
book?
a medical thing.
No?
What's
That's a medical thing.
what's
You never read Exist to Inspire, the Hardy Boys
No.
autobiography?
No.
No?
I could never afford it.
Oh man, you can't afford not to. My life changed with that book. Yeah. Apparently, Matt's hips kind of go all sideways. When he squats down, his legs go out rather than
Yeah, I
Not
noticed that
normal.
he's very strange whenever he gets up. He always brings his leg up sideways rather than how anyone else would normally get up.
Right, and he says that kind of helps him doing his leg drop. He used to do the leg drop from the second rope as like a regular thing, and apparently it was easier for him to do that than not get hurt with most people. And Christian noticed this one day, that his legs were all sideways, and dubbed them Jimmy legs. There you go.
Jimmy Legs Hardy.
Okay.
Ed's asking, did
That's
Matt
what
Hardy
Jimmy
have a
likes.
hip issue a year or two ago? That sounds familiar, I think, but maybe I'm just confusing that with Undertaker.
So he's definitely had hip issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll too.
He's the coolest guy to see in the hospital, though, the hip doctor.
It's like, no. I know about Undertaker's issue. I know. I'm just saying. I'm probably confusing it with Undertaker personally. I'm well aware of Undertaker's injuries as well. It's just I don't know. It just sounds vaguely around the time that he's had hip problems, along with the Undertaker's. Is all I'm saying.
Hip doctor, coolest guy in the hospital.
Really?
Go.
Really?
Either
Go.
him or the ultrasound guy. Anyway.
Wow.
my
Wow.
So we've got the other Hardy. They had Hardy following Hardy. Jeff retained against Jinder Mahal, so that belt stays on SmackDown. SmackDown, and Smooth, unfortunately, not for the only time. So the first but not the last time tonight. Jinder Mahal cost you a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did provide us all with some
That's
entertainment.
true. Jeff Hardy went for Whisper in the Wind, and Jinder Mahal apparently sold, even though it didn't connect with him at all. It was the actual win part. Yeah, that got him. It was all.
Or as Corey said, he may have just fallen down to sucker Jeff Hardy in, or maybe like the vibration of the mat or something made him fall over.
It was also.
Yeah,
It looked like a bouncy ring.
Notice how he started laughing at the end of that sentence.
Also, this match had some historical precedent happen. I think this is the first time Michael Cole's ever killed anybody, saying that Sergeant Slaughter was dead. He was
Yeah.
listing off like previous U.S. title holders, like the late great Sergeant Slaughter, I believe.
Oh god.
It was either this, it might have been this
Jet
one,
lag.
or I think maybe the other tag match, the SmackDown tag. I don't remember, but
I
Yeah.
think it was this one.
it was one or the other.
Corey said
Yeah.
something later on. Said you're going to see Sergeant Slaughter later.
No, by late he just meant he didn't show up on time. He's not dead.
Yeah.
should be here by now.
God.
Okay. So this was another fairly standard one, I think. Jeff seems to have a good match. He just goes through the motions, and it always ends up being fairly good. But nothing too special. And then we move on to the Bludgeon Brothers, another one where we all saw this one coming. Bludgeon Brothers retain in 5 minutes over the Usos.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was this match that Cole. I'm looking it up right now. That Cole said that Sergeant Slaughter was the late great champion.
Was
Yeah.
it this one? Was it?
Not the U.S. title match. My bad. 2 hours of sleep. All right, forgive me.
Jet lag. Yeah, I thought it was.
Okay.
My prediction of Usos may win via DQ obviously didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, let me. Yeah.
No. So I guess that cost you a point.
No.
No, you specifically said put in parentheses. It's not going to be part of the prediction, I believe. There you
Too
go.
right. You know, didn't want to go through that palaver again.
You've really just called them the Blood
Yeah.
Brothers.
Blood
You
Bros.
couldn't- Yeah, the Blood Bros. You couldn't add the
No.
extra 2 letters there. I noticed the commentators all called them the Bludgeons.
That's why. That's why.
Yeah. That's why it's just too long. It's too damn long. I've written them down as B2. Was it 2B? It was 2B,
Or
right?
not to be.
Yeah. That was the Fashion Files thing. Okay, so yeah, another house show match. Nothing
Yeah.
much going on there. And then we have a very good, I thought, ladder match. Rollins retaining, stealing it from Finn Balor. Samoa Joe and The Miz not getting anywhere. Rollins. That's more points all round, except for Smoot. You thought Samoa Joe would win, and I wish you were right, but unfortunately.
Yeah, they completely missed the end of the match when he jumped across the rope to the ladder.
Yeah.
I will say the finish was kind
Production
of.
team.
I kind of wanted them to see them make a story out of the gash on Balor's eye at the end of this. But from the replay, I think the belt, when it came off of the little, I guess the hitch, whatever you want to call it, the hook, whacked him in the face and busted his eye open there, which I think we can get
Yeah, it just got worse and worse after the match. There was nothing during the match.
get a shot of this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, right there it is. That looks oof. Yeah, because it like just caught him like around the eyebrow area.
Yeah. So it was a great visual injury to have. As long as it's not too bad, doesn't swell up the blood around the eyes.
But overall, that little
It was a good finish on
that
this,
was a
though,
great
so-
finish by Rollins. But like Balor was just like lethargic trying to reach for it. I felt where Rollins just had this burst of speed out of the corner.
Mm-hmm. This is the one I noticed. I think there was like a superplex or something on Finn Balor. Or was it the Powerbomb Tower of Doom something?
Yeah.
And he bounced. He hit the mat and he bounced a good foot up off the ring. In that slow motion one. It really looked like it was extra bouncy tonight.
Yeah, I think
Probably
I
not
remember the
bad.
replay because he did it in slow-mo.
On
didn't
slow
he?
motion, you could see him jumping right up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, what else we got? If you've got nothing else for the ladders, we'll move on to the WWE Championship. So we all lose points here. We all got screwed. This was a double count out.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
AJ and Nakamura wrestled
Beans
to a
did
double
call the
count
low
out.
blow. For the record.
He did,
Yeah,
and that
we're
did
in the
happen.
finish now. I do like Nakamura's new heel theme.
I hate it. I don't like the lyrics.
What?
I don't like the lyrics.
Right. Any particular lyric you don't like?
Can you tell us what they are?
All of them.
Can you translate it for us?
You know, there's the violin playing, which sounds fine, and then there's singing right afterwards. That's where the lyrics come in.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for when the lyrics are
I
in
know.
the song. I'm asking, can you translate the lyrics for us?
No, I'm not.
What is it about the lyrics that you don't like?
That they're there and ruining a good musical piece.
Okay. I kind of think that's the point.
Yeah, but like, and they kind of pointed this out.
Mark.
Oh, how enlightened of you. They kind of pointed this out on SmackDown. Like, they said that he changed up his theme because he didn't want the crowd to sing along with him. But like, if that's the reason,
Yeah.
then what's the point of like the whole? Oh, there's no faces or heels in WWE. The fans will cheer or boo whoever they want. What's the point of the fans cheering whoever they want when you're trying to nudge them? Hey, go this way, or hey, go that way.
Well, it's all part of the same
Yeah, but I
thing.
mean,
the character does
Right.
what he wants to do. He's saying he doesn't want you to
Right.
chant along, and this is his way of stopping you from doing
It's
it.
gonna hurt.
That of course that is a heel move, but you can still cheer him if you like.
Yeah, I guess, but
And if you want to sing along, you can learn Japanese and sing along. I guess
I'm just there's
it's actually made it easier
not
for you
much
to sing.
going for Nakamura other than no speak English and the low blow shot that he's been doing onto AJ Styles.
I think he's better. There's something about him now. He seems better as a heel.
Yeah. I think on the SmackDown before this Rumble where he attacked Kyle Anderson and that, and his facials and stuff, he was just... I don't know, he just... so much more menacing. His character's just stands out a lot more.
Yeah. It's kind of true. He just has that line and the low blows, and there's not much more going on right now. But I think just something about him, his presence, just seems better, more interested now. I hope they can go somewhere with it. Good match, and I guess we'll see it again soon. Luckily, and
Next weekend.
like next weekend, exactly. And maybe it'll be something like no DQ
Yeah, I mean,
or no count.
I wouldn't be surprised if if there's like a no DQ stick to it, because
No, they'll probably go no count outs on this one. Then he'll get disqualified, and then they'll go.
Right.
By SummerSlam, we'll finally have a match where someone wins.
You're right.
Could be. Then Undertaker put Rusev and Aiden English in a casket to win.
Did anyone else think Aiden English died?
Bury me softly, brother.
No.
Anybody else was puzzled why there was a GoPro in the casket? Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just to make it look cool at the end, isn't
Here,
it?
I'll throw it up on the stream here. I mean, I guess. I mean, it's a hell of an angle, but if anything, I thought it's gonna be for like maybe like a YouTube video for like what they did with Morrow at NXT.
Oh yeah.
I
No,
realised we got a really bad view of Rusev's crotch there.
Uh-huh.
Like originally when I saw that, I just saw Aiden English's face, but that really just... Ugh.
I suppose
Rusev
they,
there,
they
eh?
obviously knew someone was going in the casket, so why not put a camera
True.
in
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Do you
Yeah.
think maybe it's also catering to the Saudi laws? You know, just to make sure there's no hanky-panky going on in there.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
It's
It's
What do you mean
illegal,
by
you
that?
know. It's illegal over there. You're punished by death.
there? What are they getting?
I mean, there's two guys alone in a coffin. Who knows? Once the lid's closed, anything could be going on.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We were saying that don't you think that it looks rather strange when someone looks at the itinerary of what's on a WWE flight when they're going to Saudi Arabia and they're looking at it and they see casket, cage. Ladders, chairs. You're thinking this is some funky funeral they're doing over it.
And saying is Beans insinuating some Katie Vick style action between Aiden and Rusev in the casket.
No,
Beans
I
has
am.
insinuated nothing because I never said nothing.
No, that was all me. And no, because neither of them were dead.
Oh, Jesus.
Luckily.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean,
Oh my god.
what do you think he means by some Katie Vick style action?
Oh, you know.
That was the
Oh, you know.
storyline. I do know. And that's why I'm saying that couldn't happen, because neither of them were dead.
Exactly, yeah.
Buried, maybe, but not dead. Next up was.
Did anyone notice that Undertaker didn't deliver the tombstone to Rusev because I don't think he was capable?
Oh,
Delivered it to the skinny guy,
yeah.
which is fine. That's all right.
Match next, right?
Cage match. So this was a screw job.
It honestly
This is a total
was,
screw
and it
job.
worked out in my favor.
It really did. So they had a cage match, and it was as boring as their WrestleMania match, but somehow even less going on because it was stuck in the ring.
Did they do
Lots of German
anything but
suplexes.
finishing moves?
No, they had the 4 moves that they always do, and that was it. Just over and over. Try and climb out, come back in, more Superman punches,
A few suplexes.
a few suplexes, F5s and spears, and that was it. Then we
A lot
had
of cocking his fist.
loads. He had to cock his fist between every punch, and he
What
said
a dick.
"ooh ah" a few times as well. Then
What
he
does that
speared.
mean? Is it like a mating call?
I hope not. I really
Yeah.
hope not. That's illegal
Oh
too.
my god.
You have to get a GoPro. Anyway, so he then speared Lesnar through the side of the cage. The cage collapses, and kind of the
Yeah.
bottom bit stays on the ring, and the top bit comes down onto the floor. So it's
Right.
like a ramp up
Yeah,
against the
on
ring,
stream.
with Lesnar's feet up on the cage. And Reigns kind of collapses and falls out, and they never quite show a replay of his feet hitting
Yeah.
the floor. They said before the match, during the match, after the match, you have to escape the cage and your feet have to
Yeah.
hit the floor. Like Royal Rumble
Yeah.
rule. Your feet have to hit
Yeah.
the floor. They then say Lesnar won because his back
Yeah,
hit the
Cole
floor
was screaming
first.
that Lesnar won because his body hit the ground first, which is not part
Yeah.
of the rules.
And then they started to say, maybe one knee equals 2 feet. maybe something's going on. Maybe Reigns has a dispute here. Something they
Didn't-
kind of.
The whole thing of this was a bit screwed up, but because all the feet was caught on this fencing, did Lesnar not like panic at one point and roll off the fencing to try and make
Well,
it obvious
yeah,
that
you
he
would
was on
think
the
he
Reigns
floor?
should
roll
have.
off first, because if you look, this was a
Yeah.
live shot here. This one right here, Reigns rolled off to his right first, so technically his feet hit the ground while Lesnar's still on the mesh of the cage.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they didn't show that much of the
No,
replay on any of
no.
the replays.
Well,
So they
there were
showed
two
like his
things.
feet kind of coming off of the thing, but they didn't show Reigns' feet hitting
Yeah.
the ground.
Again, this was jet lag to me because Roman Reigns legitimately smashed his head into the
Yeah, right here.
floor,
Yeah, on this shot.
and
That's
Brock
true.
Lesnar, like you could see, was visibly properly winded by that fall because he took the brunt of it as well. And it was just like, what the hell were they? Why did they not just have the panel fall out instead of just the fencing?
See, I like that. I thought that was a bit more real.
I liked it, but both of them legitimately looked like they were really hurt after this.
Yeah. If you imagine it falling like that, it's
It
going
was
to
not-
make your head hit first. It's going
Mm.
to keep your feet up and make you land in the worst possible way. Also, the way that I don't know if this was, I guess it wasn't their usual cage, because those panels seem to be much kind of sturdier. Even when they pop out, they stay in like a square. This one just folded right up. Looked really flimsy.
Well, I mean, yeah, because like when Big Show got thrown through by Strowman that time, and the whole panel fell
Yeah, the
down,
whole
and
panel
then they
just
could
came
just
down.
roll out. And you could have that would have been a hell of a lot safer.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't think this is the last we'll hear of this one. I think Reigns is going to have some complaining to do, and we'll have to see this match again.
Oh God, just wait until he tells us about all guys like giving him funny looks backstage all that night.
Here,
Something was just
Look,
off
here's
that day. I don't know if it was
here's a
jet
gif
lag or.
of, the impact and the landing and whatnot, and he like Reigns establishes 1 foot on the floor as the panel breaks, as well as he crashes onto the outside.
Look at his
Yeah.
head.
Oh, he really. Yeah, there you go. There's 1 foot.
Yeah. Oh.
That's
But it's all of them. If you look at like Reigns' head, but then look at the impact that Lesnar's back has
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just horrendous.
Yeah, his head snapped back.
Maybe
too.
I honestly think that like Lesnar was supposed to like roll away fairly instantaneous, like to make sure that he was first to the, like try and get his feet down. But
I don't think there's anything he could have done.
Maybe the
That's
frame
just-
of the like you guys were saying, it was supposed to give way, much like Strowman and Big Show, if you remember, with that cage match.
well,
I
no,
don't
because
think
the
it
whole
was.
thing,
You can
is
see,
held by cable ties.
Yeah, you can see them pop off if you look closely.
Like you can see the two bars at the edge. They're nothing. They're just little,
Yeah, they just
and
held on
everything
with
kind
the
of
cable
rolls
ties.
together and shrinks up.
I think it fell as it was supposed to, because as you say, you can see the cable ties on it.
I mean, it looked for a cool visual, but one, it didn't get you the right result, and like I said, both of them really looked like they got injured, didn't they?
Yeah, that was brutal. Okay, so unfortunately we'll have to see this again. I really hope they just throw Strowman in
Yeah.
there, or they've got to do
Yeah.
something different. No one needs to see this a third time. Or a fourth time, I suppose. And then the main event. So this was the greatest, longest, biggest, largest Royal Rumble match in history. 50 men, and unbelievably, there was no double duty here. I thought we'd be seeing all of these guys again,
Yeah, I thought the same.
and they actually brought 50 different guys to be in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
impressive.
quite surprised.
How are we going to do this? We're going to run through the whole.
It was, yeah.
I want you to announce who came out, but at 90-second intervals.
That too. It was 90-second
No,
intervals. I thought
Yeah.
with 50 guys, it would be a minute.
Well-
as soon as the rules came up and it said 90-second intervals, it was like, oh shit, this is going to go
Yeah,
for like
I was
2 hours.
I was clocking it, and that shit was not 90 seconds at all.
No.
It never is, though, is it?
Tell. There was one.
I don't get it. Like, how hard is it just to keep a 90-second clock on screen? Like, really?
I don't think
It
it's
would be
that. I
very
think-
easy, but they don't want to do that.
Yeah,
No, I think they wait until they got a specific spot
Yeah.
done in the ring and did a 10 countdown, don't they?
That would
it
just
makes
get in the
sense
way.
for them to do it when they want rather than.
Yeah. I think
I'm
it was
not-
when Kofi came out and did his thing with his, near elimination. It felt like about 5 minutes between whoever, those two.
Between
entrants.
Kofi and Tony Nese?
I don't know if it was Kofi and Tony Nese or if it was. Did he do his thing straight away? The kind of hanging off of. No, because Xavier Woods was later.
No, yeah, I think both.
Well, I
Bo
don't know who it
Dallas.
was, but it was when
Yeah,
they
Bo
did
Dallas
that.
like 2 minutes and 13 seconds.
Right,
Yeah.
there you go. That's probably it's not as long as I thought, actually, but still.
Yeah.
So it's Daniel Bryan, number one. So I figured, well, he's going all the way then, and he
I
nearly did.
thought that, yeah. I thought.
No, I as soon as he came out number one, I thought he would come out number one just because of you get the entrance kind of thing.
See, I didn't. I thought they might leave until quite late just because of, his injury and stuff like that.
They're not taking it easy on him, are they?
No, I thought.
They're really putting him
Not when they chop him like he's some piece of meat.
No.
And
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the
that was
chat
nasty.
says Sasha Banks broke the fourth wall in this by calling out the 90-second timer. Did she? Did she?
Did she?
Oh, did
I
she?
gotta look this up now on Twitter. I gotta. Oh.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with them doing the time when they want to. It doesn't make a great deal of difference.
Nah, this pro wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Have to accept a few things. Are not going to be quite what they seem. So Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler, number 1 and 2. So these were going to be the Iron Men. Am I wrong in thinking that these guys have been 1 and 2 before?
Who?
I thought
Yeah.
that, but I couldn't
Bryan and
remember
Ziggler?
when.
Yeah, I think Ziggler's been 1 and or 2
Yeah.
a lot. I think he's done it with like Evan Bourne, probably
He was
Miz.
also. Wasn't he
I
30
don't know.
on like this year's Rumble? Or like last year's?
No, it's this year, I think, wasn't it? Because they had that terrible record
Oh,
scratch.
God.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that thing's a joke.
Yeah,
That thing's a.
it really is.
Ed's asking why was Hiroki Sumi in this sumo wrestler? Is sumo wrestling a thing in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was a bit odd.
That was very odd.
Literally nobody.
We had-
Like I glanced at the trot and I
Yeah.
thought it said Kenzo Suzuki. I was like, holy shit, he's back.
Carry him out
looks
on that
different.
Yeah, he
podium.
looks different. He put on a lot of weight. Oh wait, it's not. Never mind.
He should have brought his mistress out and
Oh my
started
god.
His
around.
wife
Oh my
Hiroko.
god.
That's what I thought when it said Hiroki Sumi. Did they have a Hiroko? Against Suzuki's wife, it's
Yeah.
Hiroko. Sin Cara, Curtis
That'd have gone
Axel, they
down
didn't last
really well.
long. Yeah. Mark Henry eliminated Mike Kanellis in no time at all. Then Hiroki Sumi, Mark Henry threw him out in no time, which just made the whole thing like even weirder.
Yeah.
Then Victor, Kofi Kingston, Tony Nese, and his abs, Dash Wilder. The biggest surprise of the night, the littlest surprise, was
Fuck that
Hornswoggle
shit.
Yeah.
with gear that just says Swoggle on the side, because I thought he was still in TNA.
I thought he was still unemployed.
Well,
I think he is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 205 Live is struggling enough. We don't need Hornswoggle back to re-retire the Cruiserweight Championship.
could he make 205?
Good question.
It's come out today that apparently he was supposed to have a singles match.
What?
Yeah, there was some
With
other
who?
little guy.
Hiroki
no.
Sumi.
Yeah, I don't know the full story whether the other guy didn't turn up or something, but yeah, he was booked in a singles match and then plans changed and they put him in the wrong.
There were no Sami Zayn in this rumble.
No.
Yes, they've that was something to do with his Syrian heritage, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There you go.
I did wonder that actually when.
Yeah. yeah, because Saudi Arabia and Syria don't get on.
That's
To put it mildly.
you could say. Yeah, that's diplomatic of you.
This has turned into something politics.
Primo Colon, he was out next with no Epico. Still injured, I guess. Xavier Woods to make it 2 New Dayers. Bo Dallas. Kurt Angle, yay, Kurt Angle. Nice to see him. He lasted 8 minutes. Scott Dawson, Goldust, Connor. Nothing. Elias then came out, eliminated, it looks like 5 guys.
Yeah, Cole was going apeshit over
Including-
Elias for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we did say, so Kofi's near elimination spot this time was to kind of hang on Xavier's back.
Yeah.
Even
and
though
he
it,
could've
it
just
looked like
got
some
off.
hanky. It looked like some hanky
Yeah.
panky that you were alluding to earlier in that casket match. That Beans mentioned.
Yeah.
illegal.
It's illegal. He then stayed on Wood's back for some reason while Woods climbed up the ropes and gave him an extra maybe foot
Yeah.
to jump off. I didn't really understand that.
Scintillating.
And then, yeah, then they were both eliminated along with Kurt Angle, Connor, and Randy Orton, I think, by Elias. So that's, yeah, that was a big night for him. Luke Gallows, Rhino, Drew Gulak, Tucker Knight, the call up from NXT. Probably won't be seeing much of him for a little while.
He looked.
He lost a lot of
He
weight
looks
from
like a
what I
slimmed down
remember.
roadblock from WCW.
End of the line.
WCW, not WWE.
Bobby Roode, he lasted a little while. Also, Rhino, man. This guy's white. He's as white as two
As a
guys.
roadblock.
He's white as a roadblock. My wife said he looks like a rectangle. He's just like totally flat.
All right.
It's true. He's like just flat on all sides. He looks like a box. Bobby Roode
Lego
found out.
man.
Shit. Yeah, yeah, it really kind of is. Like a pretty wide Lego man. Chad Gable, then Rey Mysterio. That was a cool surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, I guess.
Just before you go any further, Chuck, just at this point, I said this on Twitter. At this point, if this was a normal Rumble,
Oh man.
I would have liked to have seen
Oh
Bean's
my
reaction
God,
to number
yeah.
29.
Oh man. Oh.
I think my comment that I said out loud when I saw 29 was, this fucking music is terrible.
Yeah. I don't know who it is, but this music sucks. Oh, it's him. So Rey Mysterio came out. He was very good. Then 29 was Mojo Rawley. That would be usually one of the most sought after spots. Number 29.
Yeah.
Good entry. And number 30, Tyler Breeze.
I think it's an omen for next year.
Why wait till next year? Let's do another one of these next month. Maybe the UK can bid. We pay enough. We can get one.
No, we'll do something stupid and have the greatest Survivor Series, and it'll be 15 men on each team. And it'll be one fall to a finish as well. It won't be elimination for some bizarre reason.
Would be typical for the UK to finally get a pay-per-view, and it's the greatest bragging rights of all time.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It does. It does. Actually, we'll come to this at the end. Go on, carry on.
Okay. Mojo Rawley, Tyler Breeze, Big E, Kyle Anderson, Apollo Crews now actually has his name back, unless that was a mistake. He is Apollo Crews again.
That's true.
No, he is
That's
Apollo
true.
Crews.
I did
Plus
notice
also
on
he-
Raw, yeah, to be calling him Cruise as well.
He also had a Jinder Mahal moment when he got the RKO where he decided to jump headfirst into the floor for Randy and miss him.
Yeah.
I think it was
another
from the middle rope. I can't remember. It was something.
It looked.
Oh yeah, he came off. He
It-
did the
it
flying
looked
nothing
bad. It
into
looked
it.
Well, Randy didn't get anywhere near grabbing his head. He just jumped face first into the floor.
Ah, well. Another call up, Roderick Strong. He chopped the hell out of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
As you mentioned. Just a bit. Also, the underside of Daniel Bryan's arm. Obviously not from chops, but it looked like maybe rope burn or something.
He also gave Rey Mysterio what was supposed to be a backbreaker that looked like he nearly snapped his neck.
Yeah. All them backbreakers. Then Randy Orton came out. He lasted 10 minutes, 11 minutes before being eliminated by Elias. Heath Slater, another call up, Baba Tunde. I don't know who this guy is, but I like his
don't know
name.
who he is. Has he been in NXT yet? Or
Not as far as I know.
total new guy. I've not seen him before.
They did say he was from NXT,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what I mean. I've never seen him. I mean, I don't watch the weekly show, so I could have missed him. But
April. No, this was his televised debut.
Also, there's a shot of Daniel Bryan's
Yeah.
chest on the stream.
Yeah.
hamburger
Yeah.
meat, I think.
Which is ironic
Joey
because he's a
said.
vegan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It looks like someone's done like both sets of hands in the shape of like a bat.
Use some hamburger helper on that. So apparently Babatunde is actually his name. His name is Babatunde Ayagbusi,
It's a
which is awesome. I hope they don't change that.
hell
Big
of a name.
dude.
He is a big dude. 6'10", apparently. 50 build. Big guy.
One way to debut.
On way to debut. Last 6 minutes in the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. Be one of many victims of the eventual winner. Baron Corbin. I don't get it. I still don't get Baron Corbin.
He brings
I-
the darkness.
Yeah.
Although I'd picked Strowman in our predictions, I was kind of thinking they were going to give it to him.
Number
I'm glad they
39 was the moment of the night.
The moment of all time, I
Yeah.
think Cole
Oh,
said. It
yeah.
might have been the greatest moment in history.
He's right, it is.
Titus O'Neil sprints out and makes it a fail. Trips on the ring on the mat and just slides right under the ring. If he had thought a little quicker, he could have gone all the way under and
Oh, that
come out
would've
the
been
other
great.
side. Maybe played it off as like
They should do that. They should set up like a slip and slide for like next Royal Rumble and have him go underneath the ring completely.
I'm going to say it weren't that long ago, weren't there ladders at that point under the
That's
ring?
true, yeah.
There's probably something.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, there's probably Gatorades or something that broke his momentum.
Florida
So it
Gatorade.
comes crawling out.
He could have used some Florida
Ah.
Gatorade.
Alright, it's...
I said before we started the show though, that he's lucky that they didn't
Yeah,
have the
oh
normal
my god,
LED
he would've gone
bulbs.
right through.
That could have been a real bad
Yeah.
situation. Though.
I want to know how close he came to whacking his head on that like metal
Yeah.
girder.
I would imagine not
That
far
must have
off.
been pretty close.
Instead, he has what's possibly the greatest Royal Rumble moment of all time. It's gonna live down...
Yeah.
Has
This is
it-
going to
yeah,
get
it-
replayed.
Hasn't he had a picture taken on
Yes.
social media now
Yes.
with that apron?
Was it not before? And he's trying to pass it
Yeah.
off that he planned it.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
If you
Right.
look at his Twitter, he's got a picture taken, funny enough, in the exact same spot during the day, and he's trying to pass off that he planned it.
How nervous did you feel for everyone running down the ramp after this?
Not very, because everybody else is coordinated to not trip.
Everybody else
Yeah.
can walk.
Oh god.
Yeah, I swear though, Corey's
Yeah, he
reaction.
could not
Corey,
stop
yeah.
laughing. It was great.
That made
Yeah,
it 10
this
times
was
better.
well worth the $9.99 for the network. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, he's just basically trying to pass it off like, he planned it, which, hey, more power to him.
Yeah.
Ed just said in the chat they should have had a more reaction camera on the commentators for that. I would have loved to have seen Corey's reaction.
I have seen the hashtag Titus World Slide
Oh
being
my
used.
god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It was hilarious. And I'd have no problem seeing it brought up again a few times in the future, but it's also like one of those, when you see the 8, 9, 10 replays of it, you think, couldn't you just
No.
kind of let it go,
No.
maybe?
No, that was the best
Like,
thing.
Do you really want to just bury
Yes.
this guy?
Yes.
Like, well, yeah, I guess it's Titus. If it was Roman Reigns who slipped like this, don't you think they would have done everything they could to
No,
keep it quiet?
he would no longer be the guy. If this happened to Roman Reigns, he would...
Right, he's not the guy now.
This would just kill any momentum he would have had. He would have been a complete laughing stock.
Which is ironic, because Titus had loads of momentum. Yeah.
I could see this working for him. They'll turn this into something good for him. I can see him get.
Maybe. I think this is going to be turned into our truth.
Yeah.
Like, he just got over falling over in NXT. That was his thing. He was nothing for ages. That would get brought up occasionally. This guy's a goof. Now he's got Titus Worldwide, and he got a couple of wins. That was still pretty low on the card, but he was, he was there doing his thing. Now,
He had that little scuffle with Vince, didn't he? And
Yeah.
getting suspended.
yeah.
I guess that's why they replayed it loads of times. Vince is like that. I'm gonna get you back for that. just kept replaying it all the time.
Vince used to really love the guy as well.
Yeah.
Remember he did that guest spot on commentary and talked about a
Yes.
wash rag or something. And,
Yes.
yeah. And Vince apparently thought it was hilarious. Yeah. Anyway,
By all accounts, he is a very nice guy, but
yeah, great
Yeah.
dad too.
yeah.
This guy dads. Then Dan Matha.
Who?
Another call up from NXT.
Yeah, sure.
They're not pronounce it Mather.
Was it? I thought it was Matha.
I'm sure I've seen him before.
Wasn't there a newsreader called that?
Dan
Mm.
Rather.
Oh my god.
Rather. Well, anyway.
So this is a guy. He's made one TV appearance, from what I can tell, and it was cut off by Samoa Joe.
Really?
He was in the ring. Samoa Joe came down, attacked him, and that was it.
Oh, that were it, yeah. That's
Yeah.
Because they built him up, I think, before he come out. And you
Yeah, a
thought,
little
actually,
bit.
it'd be interesting to see what he'd be like, and then never saw it.
And his head looks too small.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Just looking at him, something didn't seem like a bit of a Chris Daniels, you know. There's something about his head just looks a bit weird. Too bald. I don't know. Then 41 was Braun Strowman. He eliminated 13 men, so that's a new record set. Including some fairly big names, including Titus O'Neil, Dan Mather, Heath Slater, Babatunde,
Babatunde.
Kurt Hawkins, Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger, Kurt Hawkins, Bobby Lashley seemed to work with Braun Strowman here and there. Great Khali, Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, inevitably.
Shane
following
McMahon's
Kevin
first
Owens.
Royal Rumble ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. Yeah. He took a crazy bump. I really liked the one he got thrown
Yeah.
from the ring post and through the table. I thought it looked great. Then they showed the replay and it looked like he almost missed the table.
No, I couldn't see anything because the fucking cameraman was all shaky and had rheumatoid arthritis at the wrong time on the impact.
Yeah.
Like they had to do like a super slow-mo of it.
Yeah. You
When
almost
Braun
went
was
right over.
like, bro, and you can see like the millions of images behind him on the one flat screen above him. It was great. That added to it.
Then Shelton Benjamin, Big Cass, oh god, this guy. And finally
The
Chris
coveted
Jericho.
number 50 spot.
The coveted, yeah.
How did Bid Cass not die in this match?
In what way?
Bobby Lashley dropped him
Oh, the
right on his
brainbuster.
head.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good point.
It was horrific because you just saw him shaking with struggling with his weight, and it was just like, oh god, just drop it. Don't try and hold him. Just do a suplex, and then next minute just dropped him. And they were like, and the way that,
it was a brainbuster. Not a bot suplex at all. That was a brainbuster.
but he did not look. I mean, it was a bit of a relief because the only thing he did after that was obviously eliminate Bryan. He just stayed on the ring apron for all that time.
So great spots here. We had the ring clear, just Braun Strowman there, and then Kurt Hawkins comes out. That's good fun. As you say, Big Cass eliminates Daniel Bryan, 48th, so he nearly got to the end. And he set a new record, 116-16.
Oh, Brian?
Yeah. Smashing
Yeah,
Rey
Ed was
Mysterio's
going back to bring up the same question from earlier, is asking about how
yeah.
do you have any problem with WWE declaring Bryan as the record breaker for the longest time in a Royal Rumble since this was adjusted for 50 instead of 30? No.
Not
I don't
really.
have a problem, no.
no, he was in it from the start, and he went past 30, so he's done the equivalent of a normal Rumble, and then more.
That's true.
So,
I have more of a problem with this being another Rumble, the second Rumble in a year.
Yeah, and I have a
Yeah.
problem with it being for a trophy and a title belt instead of like a title shot.
I think he'll get a title shot before too long.
Why didn't they
Tells
just
me.
put something on it and just say for the championship main event at SummerSlam or something?
Yeah.
I think if they're going to do this again, they need to do it later in the year. I think it's a bit too close to the original Rumble and Mania.
Also,
Yeah.
how ridiculously sized is this trophy, by the way?
Like I'd seen the pictures of it in all the graphics and stuff, and it looked, it looked like a trophy. Then Daniel Bryan comes out and stands next to it. Oh my god!
Braun.
I did have a feeling it'd be about 15 foot tall.
At the end, though, Braun looked like he was gonna try to like lift it, but Vince was like, "No, don't lift it."
No, just don't do it. Yeah.
Also, as well, I'm being completely ignorant, but the other chap in the ring with Vince teasing whether he should give the belt to Braun, as if like.
Yeah. So, is Braun Strowman now the Royal Rumble champion?
Apparently he is, yeah.
I think he'll defend it in January.
Does he defend that now? Or? They have got him on the website as greatest Royal Rumble champion.
I mean, he's got the title belt for it. It's like
time held,
it's
1 day,
the
3
TNA
hours.
Just Your King of the Mountain championship that can sort of be defended under King of the Mountain rules, where it doesn't always have to.
Does that mean that he can have one-on-one Royal Rumble matches with people?
Just by throwing people over the top.
Maybe. I genuinely don't know. I don't know how they're gonna.
I don't even think they know. So, Braun Strowman, 13 eliminations. That's pretty big. Then Elias with 5 is the next down. Randy Orton 4. Daniel Bryan in there for over an hour and a quarter. Only eliminated 3 guys in that time. Mark Henry, Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin also 3. Ziggler, Rude, Mojo, Bobby Lashley all 1, 2. So this was a lot of stalling, a lot of filler, and Braun Strowman going crazy at the end.
I mean, the Titus going underneath the ring with that trip, well worth the $9.99. Like I said, well worth staying up for, 2 hours of sleep on. Absolutely worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was agree.
If anything, I want one of those comfy chairs all those people were sitting in. With, like,
Yeah, they
butler,
look great.
Like serving water. Like that was one of the highlights. I don't understand why there was so much commotion with the fans at ringside. There seemed to just be a lot of movement. Like nobody could sit still. Everybody seemed restless.
Most of them on the phone.
I didn't get it.
Yeah. They love being fireflies.
Oh yeah, that was a.
Every time the lights went out, the phones were everywhere.
Visual. A lot of great visuals actually with some of the flyby shots on the cable cam.
Yeah.
The ones that they did externally on the stadium though, that was like
Fireworks.
pixelated.
Yeah, they were doing
like-
someone's webcam on dial-up, I think.
I was just going to say, it was like... I remember when they advertised the show, and they showed you a little bit of footage like that, when they showed you a pyro going off on the stadium, you're like, why do you keep using that horrible footage? And then they actually provided horrible footage, it was like, oh wow.
Oh, that's why.
It was nice to see Pyro back again.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the greatest Royal Rumble.
Well, of course. So, we know where all the budget went anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. If you give them enough money to hold a show in your country, maybe you'll get some fireworks.
And that was what I was going to bring up before. Surely now, there's no excuse to hold some sort of
not at
major
all,
event
yeah.
in the UK.
Yeah,
What can I
not
say
only
about
was
the
this
match?
not taking place on a bloody Sunday, this was taking place on a weekday, and I bet it still got watched.
Yeah. I'm not going to say WrestleMania because I don't think that will ever come to us. But why can't we have a Royal Rumble? Why can't we have SummerSlam?
Because we don't have much of a summer. I think if they're trying to plan a SummerSlam at like Wembley for nice weather, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah,
I think you'd have to kind of call them on the day. Looks all right. You know, you might want to come over now. We could probably get something done.
They can't shut Wembley's roof.
Yeah, they can.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking Wimbledon. It takes like 2 hours or something to close the roof. But yeah,
I can't get
Wembley.
over some of the just unused floor space right here. Like that's where the pre-show desk was. Yeah.
There was loads.
That's where the pre-show
there
desk
was
was.
loads.
Byron King, JR, and Booker, and you have all this other unused space right here.
Was it not used area for prayer or anything like that?
No, just people walking around and shit.
Mhm.
That looks like a broken floppy disk I just
Mm.
drew. On the stream there.
It
There
really
was
does.
a better shot than that. Barely a minute. But yeah. But
I
yeah,
never
you're
thought
right.
I'd be looking at that drawing on an arena like that.
I mean, they said it was sold out, but I think there maybe should have been more seats on the floor. Looks like there should have been.
Probably they only filled half the arena because they only let half the population in.
That's true. Yeah.
It still looked good though. I thought that arena looked pretty great.
Yeah, they did a
They
good
made it
job
look
of-
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So at the end of all of that, me and Will get a point there for Strowman anyway, and that leaves us with Smoot. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, 50%.
Jinder Mahal let you down
Yeah, he did.
twice. Triple H, AJ, and Samoa Joe, all bad picks. Beans then on 6 out of 10. I'm happy about this. Triple H, Styles, Reigns, and Bryan let you down, and then me and Will predicted very similarly throughout. Only Styles and Nakamura different, in fact, and we both got screwed on that one. So 8 out of 10 for us. Yay, go us. Let's see if we can hold on to that
I'm
lead.
only 3 behind, so it's not. It's not
It's going to be a long
runaway.
year.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say I always start a little
Same.
bit slowly.
And I'm over 50% still. Or I'm actually on par with 50%. Yeah.
At 50%.
So,
I worry Smoot sets his targets
I,
too
I
low.
probably do. I probably do. So, yeah, there's no reason why there's not like you can't have a WrestleMania over in the UK. I mean, gauging from the fact that this was just what was basically a glorified house show. If you actually had like a serious event that had like title changes and whatnot, you might as well have one in the UK. Plus, last time I checked, you guys don't hate women.
Um,
All right.
Oh
All
my
right.
god!
we deal with
Wow.
them, you know.
All right.
It's they're here. We're not going to kick them out. It's yeah.
There's a tolerance.
What can you do?
All right. Fair enough.
Will, don't encourage him.
Tolerance. Women can't live with them.
No, but it's obvious that the Saudi government or whoever threw money at WWE to do this. So I can't see our government doing the same. They've got no money as it is.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned though Wembley, because obviously this week there was the news that there's a potential buyout, isn't there?
Yeah, 800 million.
And it is the owner of the Jacksonville
Yeah.
Jaguars.
They're possibly going to move it over there, and maybe.
So if an American owns Wembley Stadium, then possibly WWE have got a little bit more of a
It's like,
common ground to
it's
negotiate.
like a
something.
Belgium owning Anheuser-Busch. Basically. All right.
Okay.
I'm sure that that's a reference that'll reach some people. Moving on.
Nope,
It
not
went, it went past me as fast as that bike went past outside the window.
Fair enough.
don't know if you've seen that other shot I've just sent you, but you can really see the empty spaces in that arena.
Yeah, that was. I'm guessing that was the pre-show, right?
Yeah.
Here, I'll throw it up into Chrome here, and then we can doodle on it.
Oh god, he's gonna draw another disc.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you can really make out all the just unused space. Like, I understood that, like, they said something that the seating arrangement was different because it was like the Saudi royal family was in attendance, and like basically it was just like rich people, I suppose.
VIPs at
Do
ringside.
you think they were laughing when the Davari brothers came out waving an Iran flag?
I don't think they have a sense of humor, maybe. So that's...
Yeah, I always find it weird. Like, you see all the guys in white there around the edge. They're security. They look just like guys.
Wait, so you're saying...
Yeah.
Hold on. So you're saying, like, these guys, like, right here.
Oh God,
Right,
what are you drawing now?
Why?
And, like, right...
It's drawing Triple H's symbol now.
Right there. Those are all security?
Like, it just these guys exactly. And you see all around the edge of the tiered seating.
Huh. I don't know. It looked like they were just... I don't want to say fans, just well, yeah, maybe lost, sure. I thought there was just people that were trying to find like an
Lost,
open
yeah.
seat. It seemed like they were just playing like musical chairs. Like, okay, I don't want to be here for this match. I'm going to go over and go over here and get a better seating.
But they were all stood around in the kind of places that security guards would stand, and they're all dressed the same. It looks fairly typical, clothing. But you see, like the way they're dotted all around the tiered seating. That just looks like security to me. And otherwise, who are the security? If it's not those guys,
Right,
where's the
yeah.
security?
I know during matches there's like a bunch of dudes like sitting, or not sitting, but like standing around like over here and like around over here opposed to the hard cam and such.
There was a guy in a blue shirt telling everyone to sit down. I've seen him run past the camera a few times.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It made no sense to me. What?
Also, sorry, go on.
At what point is Smoot just going to draw a cock on this thing? Like, I keep seeing him draw circles, and I'm thinking, when is the shaft?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Ed just said this is Smoot's chance to do his best John Madden impression.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was very off-putting to see so many people just walking around during the show. And during matches, honestly, I didn't get it. Like at the beginning, I thought there was like something happening in the crowd, like there's some sort of breakdown because everybody was standing. I literally saw somebody take like a chair out, and I thought shit was going down, but I don't know. And like a couple of times, they cut to like the floor cam, where usually the hard cam is supposed to shoot from, like into the ring and such. So I don't know.
Yeah, there were some security in like black shirts,
Yeah.
so I don't know what you see. I don't know what they were doing. Not a lot.
Anything else from the greatest Royal Rumble that we should cover?
Rey Mysterio walked like a crab in the Rumble match.
Oh my god.
When Randy Orton grabbed his feet and he just like had to walk with his hands as he were dragging him across the mat, and he looked rather strange.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that too. I will set this as my desktop background, whatever you just sent me.
That was just one of the security guys. You could see them behind.
Yeah, they were around all over the place too. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just
Oh, I
sending us a
see,
picture of Booker T.
Oh,
So the guys in white were all the
I think-
VIPs,
yeah.
and they were just like dotted around, perfectly spaced
Yeah.
around the arena. I guess so. Because I was gonna say they didn't look a lot like security in what they were wearing, but they
You
were
watched
acting like security.
The first sort of 10 minutes of the show during the Cena Triple H match, there's a guy in like a blue shirt with a headset on. He must be production.
Ah,
or
no, I
something.
didn't see him. Yeah.
He's running around telling people to sit down. So
Giving Booker T a goatee there. Sorry.
The yellow one.
I don't.
I guess.
Like Scott Steiner.
Yeah, you can sort of see the artifacting from the chroma keying. There you go. Oh, shucky ducky. There you go. Quack quack.
This is absolutely quality entertainment.
It is. It is. It's like I'm watching Bob Ross.
Don't forget to beat the brush, mate.
Beat the devil out of it.
That wasn't even the right laugh.
I would have loved it if somebody snuck in a beach ball, Ed. That would have been great.
I thought you were going to say you would have loved it if Bob Ross were in the
He could
Rumble.
have painted people out of the ring.
Would
Sure.
have been nice.
They could have brought that 15-foot long paintbrush that he uses in the intro and like started batting people out.
Could have been on the panel. He wouldn't have been any worse than Jim Ross.
Ooh.
Oh.
He did seem a bit not really.
Jet lag.
Yeah. Well,
There's also apparently there's some controversy about Jerry the King Lawler referring to himself as Jerry the King Lawler in Saudi Arabia. I heard
Because he's not a real king.
he said that. He said it himself on his podcast. Said he wasn't sure whether he should be called the king or not because it's going to offend the real king.
Just got his image of him arguing with a kid. I'm the king. No.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Maybe he should stop calling himself the king because it might offend Triple H.
He stopped calling himself the king because he's not actually a king.
But he made King of the Ring though.
Still not a king, is it?
All right. Anything else? I think we've covered this sufficiently.
I think this has been the greatest show ever.
All right, yeah, sure. I saw the Sasha tweet of who's doing the stopwatch, and one of the people that replied simply said, "A man." So.
Oh man.
Wow.
Is that Doctor a man?
No. We were giving the clock a Z-pack.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's going to be the show for this week. Next week we'll probably go back to our normal roundabout brouhaha.
So sorry, just before we go, this was the greatest Royal Rumble. When we get
it's the biggest.
Yeah, but officially it was the greatest. That's what we're called.
Right.
Official.
When we get to January next year, is it? It's just the Rumble. Yeah, whatever.
I think it's going to be like WrestleMania, where every one is the best and biggest.
So next one's going to be the
next one's going to be even greater.
Or maybe maybe the simplest, the most Americanist, so that implies that women can be involved.
But only in their own
I was
way.
just going to say, Ronda Rousey's winning the normal Royal Rumble in January because of this.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll be back next week to talk about Raw, SmackDown, the usual stuff that within the week. You can reach us at the IWC Radio on Twitter. You can always throw in a hashtag IWC Radio. If it's good enough, we'll read it on air. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week, like we said. Give us 5 stars, subscribe to us, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you then. Take good care and good night.
Bye.
Oh my God.